Hello, hello, hello. How's everybody doing? Hello, hello, hello. Give everybody a chance to come in. Might as well promote the thing. I'll get this silly thing out of your way. There we go. Hope everyone's having a good weekend in spite of how that Mariner game went. All right, let me promote this real quick. We're live now. Come on over. Post. Okay. Okay. Going to do it a little different today. We'll talk about the game. We'll do all that stuff. And then I've got some sports cards that I've been going through. And I figured you guys might think it's kind of cool to look at them while we're talking about this stuff. And I'm answering your questions. But let's get started in the normal way first. Mariners lose 6-4. They fall to 45-35 on the season. And they lose 2 of 3 to the Miami Marlins. Scoring plays. Really bad first inning for Bryce Miller. Jake Berger singles to left to score Jazz Chisholm, and Nick Gordon shellacks a homer to right with 2 runners on, 4-0. In the second inning, Jazz Chisholm singles to right to score Vidal Brujan. That makes it 5-0. And in the third inning, Jesus Sanchez just clobbered a baseball to make it 6-0 at the end of 3. Mariners get back into it. Luke Raley homers to left with Dom Canzone on to make it 6-2. That was in the fourth inning. In the seventh inning, Ryan Bliss gets an RBI ground out, 6-3. JP Crawford singles homer run to make it 6-4. Yeah. Mariners lose. Some positives from the game. Bullpen was really good today. Really, really good. Cicetto, Thornton, Bauman especially, 6 swings and misses in 6 swings and misses. That's what we should start calling them. They're not swings and misses. They're swings and misses. Goodness gracious. What a slip there, but it's such an accurate one. Bauman was really good. Thornton was really good. Voth, did issue a couple of walkies, but got around it. The bullpen was kept you in the game, as they have a lot of the time this year. I mean, we get a little worried, about this pen because we have some concerns about some of the high leverage guys behind Munoz. But they've done pretty okay. Positives offensively, I thought Luke Raley had a really good game because of course he did. I mean, by that I mean, it's not just we automatically assume that Luke Raley's going to have great games, but Luke Raley had a very good game, and by of course I did. I mean, he went 3 for 4 with a homer. It's pretty obvious when you go 3 for 4. So homer and 2 runs scored. Mitch Garver reached 3 times. Like to see that. Tom Canzone gets on a couple of times. JP Crawford gets on a couple of times. The rest of the offense struggled pretty bad. The biggest negative for me is Bryce Miller. I'm worried. Bryce Miller has not been good. He's not been good on the road, especially. I mean, Bryce Miller has had very nice moments, too. This terrible start up to his ERA to 3.90. And while we talk about reliever ERA, not even reliever ERA, while we talk about ERA being a misleading stat, you see his struggles on the road. And, man, a lineup full of lefties got him. It got him good. He's got to pitch better. He's pretty clearly your 5th starter right now. Pretty darn clearly. And it's a nice 5th starter to have. But it's worth pointing out that on the road, Colin just brought it up. 29 runs in his last 6 road starts. That's good math, Colin. That's really good. Thanks, everybody, for coming out, by the way. Steven and Nelson, you're absolutely wrong. He did not clobber that baseball. It had an expected batting average of 690. I get it. I'm frustrated that Julio's not hitting the ball over the fence. Give me a frickin' break. That was absolutely a fantastic play by Otto Lopez. Go look at the replay. Go look at the jump that dude makes. And this is why I was a little nervous about going live, is because I'm going to be honest with you. You people are stupid if you think Julio Rodriguez is at fault for that situation. Is he at fault for the other 3 at-bats? You bet your sweet biffy he is. He's not even kind of at fault for that situation. Otto Lopez made a fantastic play. An expected batting average of 690 on that ball. No, it wasn't clobbered. He hit it 90.5 miles per hour. That's above average exit velocity. He didn't slap it or crush it. He didn't shellac it. He did what he was supposed to do. The infielder did it better. Come on. Come on. 90 mile per hour is above average exit velocity. 90.5 is actually what it was. Yeah, no. And again, the other 3 at-bats from Julio weren't good enough. But we do have to give some credit to Otto Lopez. That was a fantastic play. Yeah, he didn't smoke it, though. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. It wasn't like it was this absolute P missile. Yeah. And look, Julio Rodriguez's stats in the clutch are pretty darn good. I am a Julio apologist. I will make no claims on the other. But blaming Julio for this is insane to me. Insane. And I see a lot of people do it. And it's one of the reasons why the internet is a mistake. The internet is a mistake. Ryan Bliss, who has been absolutely superb, by the way, this was not a good game from him. And in particular, that at bat in the 9th inning. And no, I didn't want him to bunt. Garver works the walk. Cal Raleigh works the walk. And by the way, Cal Raleigh fouled off some really hittable pitches in that at bat. Like some balls that he would like probably tell you he should have hit out of the park, if we're just being completely honest. But he fouled him off. And then he ends up working that walk. You have first and second, nobody out, and Bliss comes to the plate. If it was a 1-run game, you're bunting there. No question about it. You can't swing at the first pitch against Tanner Scott. You got to make him work a little bit. You got to make him work at least a little bit, man. Just to pop up in that situation too. And then, as you guys bring up, and we'll talk about Dylan Moore as well. Then J.P. Crawford comes up and he flailed. Now, lots of left-handers flail against Tanner Scott, right? But oof, Magoof, that was a bad at-bat from Crawford afterwards, too. And then Dylan Moore, who had that poor at-bat, he does flip a little liner, or not even a liner is the wrong word. Maybe we should be careful with the word liner right now. He does, gets that base hit. Would have been nice if that would have scored a run. It doesn't matter. And then Julio makes good contact, not great contact, good contact, and Otto Lopez makes that play. But the at-bats from Bliss and Crawford are a really, really, really good example of why this offense is not just one person's issue. You got 4 runs today. You should win when you score 4 runs against the Marlins. But there was the opportunity for a big offensive day today. Yeah, Steven, that's an issue with me too. Is like Moore is a guy who has become a 3-outcome player. And no, Nelson, you have nothing to apologize. I appreciate the comments. I'm going to go do my best after we get through the normal stuff to get to some of the stuff. But what was I talking about? Moore has become a 3-outcome guy, right? It's a walk. It's a strikeout quite often, or it's a homer. And those guys can play. You got to get on it better than a 320 clip if you're going to be that player, right? And yeah, a lot of middle stuff that has been fouled off, fouled into the left field stands, fouled into the right field stands. It's been frustrating. It's been really frustrating, and everyone is guilty of it. Everyone is guilty of it. Big Dumper draws the walk. I feel like that was a wasted opportunity because he got some middle stuff that he should have shellacked. Like I said, I'm going to start showing off some cards and stuff and answer some of your questions. But yeah, that was a frustrating one. It was a frustrating one in part because I had a horrible morning, had a little bit of a health scare. Everything good now. But yeah. All right, let's start looking at some cards. These are all mixed, by the way. There's some baseball, there's some football. This is one of my favorites as a Seahawk fan. Oh, and by the way, please hit like, please hit subscribe. I appreciate it. I love this Jackson Smith and Jigba pen pals. This is a first off the line exclusive. Oh, Steven, thank you so much. That's cool. I'm getting these ready because I'm going to be selling everything. I have to. So, yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. Yeah, that wasn't great either, was it, Colin? Them facing good opponents. Mariners face a crappy opponent. What can you do? Richard Sherman. This is from Flawless. 15 of 15. I love a bunch of Dick Sherman autos, but that's probably the best. This is kind of a cool card. This is Minnie Mouse from this set called, I forget what it's called now. But the numbered cards are extremely rare. 79 out of 99. I love Disney, by the way. I know they've got their flaws, but let's see. Yeah, 4 games in 5 days. I mean, talk about a bad time to play bad, right? Is there anything else I wanted to talk about with the negatives and positives? I'm worried about JP. I'm worried about all of it. Oh, Ty France had a horrible game. Horrible game. Awful, awful, awful. LeBron James with the game used jersey. And I apologize about the glare. There's nothing I can do about that. Let's see some questions in here. What a turd of a game? Correct. Absolutely correct. Turd of a game. That could have been a lot worse. A lot of people bringing up the fouling the pitches off. My sister just sent me a message. Unimportant. Unimportant. I'm not mad they're playing bad. I'm mad they're playing bad against the Marlins. Yeah. Yeah, you're supposed. Yeah, this is supposed to be a dominating matchup. According to nominative determinism, you're supposed to beat him. I think this home stretch is massive, Steve. Massive. Massive, massive, massive. Because barring a utter collapse, yeah, you're going to go into the division or into like the All-Star break with a pretty good lead, 3 or 4 games, right? But your chances of a disaster based on the opponents that you're playing is non-zero. I love Dela Cruz. And Mitch Haniger, we've talked about it a lot on Molly Watt Monday. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what you do there because he's not helping you defensively. He's not hitting left-handed pitching at all. So what? Yeah, Haniger to the coaching staff, he's making so much dang cash that's not going to happen. You know, he's not retiring anytime soon. It would be an expensive coach too, but let's see. I really like this card. This is Adley Rutschman. It's from a set called Topps Cosmic Chrome. And this is the Sun. It's one of the more common ones, but yeah, in an ideal world, Nelson, I would be doing that. We don't live in an ideal world, but yeah. Soccer cards. You guys don't care about soccer cards. Well, you'll care about one soccer card, maybe. Will Levis, first Bowman. I love first Bowmans. I don't have any of my baseball first Bowmans here, I don't think, but yeah, they're not picking up Jose Abreu. No chance. There's a soccer card you might like. That's Kylian Mbappe, and that's got a little diamond in it, and it's to 3. It's hard to see how cool that card is because it's it's got the glare going, but it's 1 of 3. Won that card in a raffle and was very happy about it. Yeah. What else can we talk about from this game? It was nice to see Garver get on 3 times. He seems to look more comfortable at the plate when he is catching. I think that there is a large enough sample size there that I think you have to start taking that into consideration, right? But are you moving Cal Raleigh to catcher? Of course not. Or off of catcher? Of course not. I'll kill you in your Mbappe. That's very funny. Chris, is there any world where the Tigers trade Riley Green? No. I would love it too, but nah, they're all in on him. He is their build around guy. I like this guy a lot. Michael Penix Jr. See that cool patch in it? I think this one's 49 of 49. Yep. I'll kill you in your Mbappe. Josh Rojas had a bad game too. Yeah, I'm thinking more about like what it would take to get Riley Green. It would be something like that. You know, that's the only way you're probably doing it. And I just don't think Detroit would be interested. He's been too good at the plate. That was not interesting. That was not interesting. That was not interesting. Oh, I like this one. It's an Al Kaline cut auto. It's pretty cool, isn't it? I like Al Kaline. This, to me, is the most valuable card I have. And what's funny is I sold it, and it got lost in the mail, and it made its way back. It made its way back, and I'm super happy because I think it sold for less than it should have. But this is from a set called Panini National Treasures, and it's an Aiden Hutchinson RPA. Stars and Stripes. It's 5 out of 10. That patch is sick. And I think Aiden Hutchinson might be like one of the better defensive linemen of all time type of guy. So excited about that. Oh, that scared the crap out of me. Canzone did make another good throw that JP dropped. Yeah, he's looked okay in left field. He played right field today, but he looked okay in right field. My mind is just gone. That's not a Mike McDonald card. Sup, Sam? I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that Mike McDonald card. Oh, you know what? I think I have one just for you, Sam. Let me find it. No. Sam, don't go anywhere. Sam, don't go anywhere. Oh, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, there it is. There he is. There he is. Sam is a big Baltimore Ravens fan, and that is a Ray Lewis, Terrell Suggs 1-of-1 card. Yeah, I bet you've been waiting for that. I like to Sam is a big fan of the Baltimore Ravens, and he works for Leighton Sports, which is where I buy a lot of my cards, and I like to tease him about Mike McDonald quite a bit. So turnabout is fair play, my friend. Turnabout is fair play. That's so funny. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Let's see. So let's talk about what the Mariners have coming up, because we brought up that road trip, right? We have got, I thought you'd like that one, Sam. You do have 3 against Tampa Bay. Wu, Castillo, Kirby against, and we'll see if the rotation stays the same. Bradley, Littell, and Pepiot. You should win 2 of 3 for sure. A sweep is the only way you have a successful road trip. No, Nelson, we know how that goes. Who might be available for the Mariners to trade for that no one is really talking about so many in? This is tough, and I will say this. Contention. Yeah. In part because so many teams are in contention, and in part because I've gone over this with our Maiawai enthusiasts. I've done a couple of trade videos. I'm going to do another one after we do our MLB draft videos because, I want to give that information to subscribers respectfully. But I will, throw out some names if I can think of anybody before the chat's done that I haven't mentioned. But yeah, it's tough because so many teams are in it, and the teams that aren't in it suck out loud. So, how many guys on these awful baseball teams do you really want? And keep in mind that everybody else wants those guys too. That makes it really hard. Rays have started playing better. Yep. Hope your day's going well, my friend too, Chad. Storm Chaser, huh? Oh, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff going on in that regard, isn't there? Yeah, I mean, that's the reality of the situation, man. Luis Robert, everybody wants him. Everybody needs him. So, what do you do? What do you do? I think Brian De La Cruz wouldn't be that crazy of a price. Jazz is a little tougher just because he's not only their most talented player, he's also their most marketable. I saw that. I saw it wasn't exactly a very high score, but indeed, go Storm. Go Storm. I need to make my way out to a game, man. I wish I could have gone to the Caitlin Clark game, but the ticket prices were just insane. If you think they were going to make a push for Lou Bob today, oh, that's a good question, Sam. We're talking about Colt Emerson would have to lead off that package. And you're probably talking about Bryce Miller at this point. Yeah. I would say something along those lines. Jesse Winker to Electric Boogaloo. I mean, look, Winker's been great. And by the way, again, I am a Julio apologist. But yeah, just to real quick to answer, I think that would be it. I think Miller, Emerson, and another prospect along the lines of Michael Arroyo would be what you're looking at there. Oh my gosh, dude. The Marlins swag is just, and Tim Anderson too. But I noticed this the other day, and actually today too. And I am a Julio apologist, and I am not saying that this guy is better than Julio Rodriguez, even though I predicted that he would be. Go look at his numbers compared to Julio's. Jared Kelnick. Go look. And mean one, I don't think so. Like, he had a bad road trip, but he was pretty darn good before that road trip too. I've seen more than enough good things. He's just not ready to be a great offensive player yet. And I don't think anything in AAA is going to do that. And he's still helping you so much defensively and on the bases as well. But yeah, Jesse Winker would be an interesting one. I think some ads are going to start playing in a sec. Sorry, guys. I need the money. I need the money. And again, if you don't mind hitting like and subscribe, I would awfully much appreciate words, talkie. I'm going to go promote this again. Still going. Come on in. There we go. Yeah, Tim Anderson, man. Considering the cease price, they may be able to go exclusively MILB, but it's very much going to have to be Clase, one of Kohler Pete. And I don't know how much trade value that Jonathan Clase has right now. Oh, it's the worst trade the Mariners, Jerry DiPoto's ever made. And it's not a Jerry DiPoto trade, to be fair. That was not a Jerry DiPoto trade. That was a John Stanton trade. And yeah, it was a bad deal. Horrible deal. Inexcusable deal. Inexcusable deal. Yeah. Yeah, the old 1-2 puncheroo there from Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Chad, I see that. Yeah, cheaper production for sure. Let's see. Let's see if I have any baseball cards that you guys would have interest in. Need this guy to start playing well. Jordan Walker, out of 10. Not a Mariners fan, so just yeah. What's the plan with Ford with Raleigh behind the dish? No, that's not a dumb question at all. I don't like you, Sam, but no. I think the plan is to trade Harry Ford. Um, I think that it would be a surprise if Harry Ford is still a Mariner by the end of July. I think he's going to. And you know what? That's a player the White Sox could have some interest in a Luis Robert trade. They have Edgar Caro, so maybe not. But uh yeah. Oh, Nelson, they didn't make him trade Kelnick, but they made him do a massive salary dump. And Stanton told Dipoto and Hollander that these players cannot be on the roster in 2024. And unfortunately, that was the only way you can do it. Chad, I would still bet against it. I could see it, but they're not going to get rid of Garver. There's too much money involved there. I guess I could see it. And again, Big Dumper's got to start playing better. Kjerstad getting the call. Nice. Yeah, I'm thinking more about that Class A thing. That makes a lot of sense. But I imagine that they just want to get as much prospect capital as possible too. So I'm not sure if Class A fits that, but what you're saying does make sense. Let's see here. Got 3 Michael Penix autos. This is my favorite one because it's on card. I got this gold of Anthony Rizarche. He's going to be the first pick, and so I will wait for that to happen before I sell it. The Orelvis Martinez news, and then I got to be honest. I want to believe young players. I want to believe people when they tell their stories, right? What a bunch of nonsense. What an absolute nonsense. If Harry Ford is Jason Varitek, and let's say Wooer Miller is Derek Lowe, who's the Heathcliff Slocum the Mariners trade them for? Mean. I guess that I would if that was it. Oh, okay. Show off the Julio cards. Here's one right here. This is 1 out of 10 from a set called Diamond Icons. It's not a rookie, but it's pretty. My other J-Rod cards are graded, and I don't have those with me. But, yeah. Yeah, Steve, come on. Hey, I'm trying to get my wife pregnant. I really like Ryan Bliss, too. I did bring up that at bat today in the 9th inning. Really upset me. But he's a rookie. He's trying to do something. It's hard to get mad when you're trying to do too much. But, boy, that was a bad at bat. The National League is 10 pounds of crap in a 5-pound bag. I don't think anybody's selling the National League right now except for the Rockies. The Marlins too, I guess. And God, it's just a cesspool. It's just a cesspool. Trade Polanco in a package. I think you would be dealing him at his lowest value. And I don't think the Mariners want to do that. But you could consider it. This is kind of a cool card. Erling Haaland and Julian Alvarez dual auto. 1 out of 8. Erling Haaland is not an attractive man. All joking aside, would not shoring up the pen to be something like Royals model 2000 maybe work to overcome the lack of hitting. The starter is already better in that team. You definitely want to do both. Yeah. I mean, run prevention is still big on this team. I have issues still with who the arms are behind Munoz. Yeah, you got to do both. You've got to improve this bullpen, and also you have to improve this lineup as well. The Marlins do have a few guys. I would like Brian De La Cruz. I think he makes a lot of sense in a situation where he replaces Mitch Haniger. Maybe it's tough because Canzone has been really good in June. And there have been some flashes, but I still don't trust him. Rayleigh needs to play every day. Obviously, Julio's playing every day. Do you want De La Cruz and Canzone being your platoon? I've brought up McMahon. They don't want to trade him. It's weird. Canzone's extremely streaky. And let's keep in mind, too, that this is a player who's in his first full professional year of Major League playing, right? The lows have been low, and the highs have been pretty good. I'd like to see just a nice little medium. Haniger, Dylan Moore, Mitch Garver, and Ty France should all really be benched. Honestly, that would be a heck of a bench to have, and it probably should be their bench. Now, maybe you're looking at a left-handed bat replacing one of those guys. And that's my thing about Ty France. And I get in trouble because, look, a lot of people really like Ty France, and I like him too. The person, the leader, talk to a bunch of people who talk about how important he is for their clubhouse vibes, and clubhouse vibes matter. Clubhouse vibes absolutely matter. They don't matter more than talent, but they matter. Ty France is so limited. He has to get on base at like a 380, 390-ish clip in order to be a valuable player. And he doesn't do that. He gets on at like a 330, 340. I'm sorry, when Ty France is just going station to station and you don't have the offensive bats behind him to drive him in with extra base hits and homers, it just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. It's a really weird profile. It's a perfect way to put it. And again, I am not a Ty France hater. I just see the flaws of him being your starting first baseman for what should be a World Series contender. In my humble estimation. That's the only thing that's going to be acceptable, is being a World Series contender. And they're not there yet. I would be willing to bet a decent amount of money that they are going to win their division. I would be willing to bet that they can beat Kansas City or Minnesota at home in a 3-game series, with all of those games being played at home. And then from that point on, do you trust this team to beat Cleveland? I don't think so. Do you trust this team to beat New York? Hell no. And do you trust this team to beat Baltimore, even after watching Baltimore get swept today? Hell no. A right-handed mashing corner outfielder replaced Haniger, which sucks, but he's a liability. Yeah. And I think that we talked about this earlier earlier in the chat as well, that he does look so much comfortable at the plate in those games that he's catching. He does. There's a large sample now of him being a lot better in that role. Any other cards? Oh, this is a really fun one. Now, I know. Oh, I have 2 more. They're both college cards, but I know we're not all big college football card collectors here, but there's a Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders auto to 10. I love that card. And then this is probably my baby right now, although I'm probably going to have to sell it, like I said. Look at that. Michael Penix, Romo Dunze, Jalen McMillan. Yeah. Those 3 guys are pretty special to me, man. Those 3 are pretty special to me. Yep. Steve, I want this team to get a championship so bad. And it's why I will continue. And it's not like what I do makes a huge difference, but I think as fans, the more pressure we put on this organization to be like, hey, just winning the bad division, and I think this division's still bad, despite how well Houston played and Texas played this weekend. It's not enough. It's good. It's not good enough. Yeah, Nelson, they've just gotten absolutely destroyed by quality pitching. So you've got to go add depth to this lineup. You've got to use the depth that you have to add depth. Use the fact that you have like 16 quality shortstop prospects to go make this lineup. I bet you like that answer, Sam. Houston scares me too, Steve, because they're Houston until they're not Houston. Now, I see huge flaws in that roster. Huge flaws. And they have massive holes. But it's also a team that's been to what? 6 straight ALCSs? 7? Something like that? Until they're done, they're still a threat. And the other team is the defending World Series champion. I think they have an approach problem. They don't control the zone like they say are trying to. They control it in a different way and in a frustrating way to me because there are hitters on this team, in particular Julio Rodriguez, who are better earlier in counts. So you might as well let them be their best version of themselves. I would start Locklear over Ty France, to be honest, and the Mariners really need to get at least 2 more above average bats, one for right outfielder, another for DH. Totally fair. Totally fair. Now, I could see that, Nelson. I will say this. I'd like to get Mark Canha. I've talked about it a lot. A lot. I think he'd be a great addition to this team. He's not enough, but adding that guy on top of adding some bats like Mark Canha, I would like that very, very much indeed. How problematic for teams like the Mariners, the NL wild card becoming? It's a huge problem, Chad. Huge, because nobody is out of this, and it makes the sellers. There's so many other options. Colin, I think that they are just kind of playing the waiting game here. If he's not going to play, though, he should be in the minors. Like the things we talked about with the Bliss conundrum when Polanco comes back, it's much easier to just send Tyler Locklear down. Long term, Tyler Locklear is your starting first baseman. It's what I think the Seattle Mariners view him as. And, I think he's got a chance to be there. Concerned about a right profile for I just told my friend Meg this. Happy birthday, Meg Rowley, by the way. One of the best baseball writers out there and one of the best people out there as well. For every Pete Alonso, there's a bunch of Dylan Petersons. So, and I mean hit in order to reach his value, but I definitely see the offensive potential. Yeah, I get being more scared about Texas for sure. I mean, you talk about some guys that they're going to bring back. And it's also a big thing here, too, with the division. Holding the tiebreakers matters here, too. The fact that you have beaten up on those teams while they are beat upable is big. Yeah, I believe in that bat, Nelson. I believe in that bat as a guy off the bench type of thing. And also a great clubhouse guy, too. Well, that was fun. It was a lot more fun than just recording normal video. I had no desire to do that. None. Please hit like and subscribe as you're leaving. I really appreciate the support, guys. We'll probably do this again next week at some point. We're definitely going to do it tomorrow for Mile Y enthusiasts. $4.99 to join. No pressure. I understand $5 a month is not for everybody, but sure appreciate your support. Talk soon. Bye. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Chad.